Hello. Today is 12/12/2012. Um, and I wanted to talk about the end of the Mayan calendar, which will be on the 21st. That's about 9 days from now. And there probably will be a change in the overall collective consciousness. Probably some sort of shift to a higher level of consciousness. I'm thinking a lot of the younger souls out there will perhaps start to vibrate at an older soul frequency, which could cause them to mature much faster. It's just speculation, but the Mayan calendar, the long count has been going on now, I think, for about 10,000 years. So we're at the very end of that. We're in the last 9 days of a 10,000 year cycle. A lot of people think that the world's going to end or something along those lines, but I think if anything, it'll be a very subtle change. It'll be a spiritual energy, a new kind of age. It'll be like a new age, a new eon, which has a different vibration than the one we're finishing now. It'll be more. There'll probably be more of a spiritual vibration. So we're in the last 9 days. We're counting down, and I'll do another video right after the end of the Mayan calendar, 21st, 22nd, something like that, just to sort of recap everything that happens. So you can expect another video then. But as things stand right now, it's still kind of speculative as to what's going to happen. Anybody that claims to know what's going to happen is probably just speculating. There's not that much evidence one way or the other, but I do think it's a new age. Also, about 6 months from now, I'll be reaching the end of my first Saturn year, the Saturn Ascension, which takes 29.5 years. I turn 29 in 4 days, on the 16th, and 6 months later I'll be 1 Saturn year old, because it takes Saturn 29.5 years to go around the sun. So 1 Saturn year is 29.5 Earth years. And when you do reach your first Saturn Ascension, you usually go through a lot of changes, and you usually let go of all your childish things, and you try to move on and be more mature. And it helps to get you prepared for living a more mature, full life. But this is my first Saturn Ascension, and it should be pretty interesting. A lot of interesting things are happening. I think the fact that my birthday is exactly 5 days before the end of the Mayan calendar is pretty interesting. And also the end of the Mayan calendar falls on the winter solstice, which in ancient times was the last day of the year. It's so there already would have been on that day certain energies in the air, but the fact that it's going to be also the end of the Mayan calendar should magnify the energies. So it'll be extremely interesting to see what happens. I'm going to keep my eyes open, and we're just going to pay attention, and we're going to see what happens. It's going to be, the future going forward will be, I think, a much more interesting place than what we've come from, and I'm really looking forward to it. I think we're all lucky to be alive in this time. There could be negative fallout. There could be people who are filled with fear at the thought of a shift in consciousness in the collective consciousness, who may rebel or commit mass suicides. Could be terrorist attacks, possibly. Could be, very likely would be mass suicides in the Jim Jones style, or the what are those people, the Golden Gate people, or whatever it was, the people that thought they could, if they killed themselves, they get to ride on the comet or whatever. Can't remember what they're called, but that sort of thing is going to be very common. Getting towards the end of the Mayan calendar. So, also, I think my video and audio might be a little bit out of sync. I can't really prevent that, so I apologize for that ahead of time. But any comments you might have, please leave them below the video, and I'd be interested to see any thoughts that you might have on this. And stay tuned. It's going to be pretty interesting.